Hey, Chris Seiter here, and today we're going to talk about when you need to avoid the no contact rule. And if you stay until the end of this video, I'm going to show you the specific text message you can receive during no contact that can actually allow you to break it. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so that you can get notified anytime I respond to your comments. You know, the no contact rule is probably one of the most popular strategies here on YouTube for getting your ex back. But one thing no one really talks about is when it's not a good idea. But that's what I'm going to be covering today, as I give you 3 situations where you should be avoiding the no contact rule like the plague. So the first big situation I'd like to talk about today is where you've actually broken up with your ex and you regret the breakup and want to get them back. I always find it really interesting when I work with a client who's actually broken up with their ex. Most of the people I work with have been broken up with by their ex, and there's a really interesting difference that goes on there. Most namely because the no contact rule is that universal strategy that most of the people use when they get their ex back. Some people falsely believe that it's perfect for their circumstances when it's really not. Now, contrary to popular belief, there is a power in being the one who broke up with the other person. Generally speaking, if you broke up with your ex, they're not really happy with that. They wanted to be with you. Interestingly enough, one thing that we recommend for our clients to do if they find themselves in this situation where they're really debating on if they should use the no contact rule on their ex if they break up with their ex, is actually ask their ex out for coffee. Send your ex a text message, ask him out for coffee rather than being kind of roundabout. Sometimes we've found great success by just getting that conversation started, getting an immediate date, and telling your ex that you made a mistake. So really what I'm trying to say here is the direct approach works better than the indirect approach with the no contact rule. The second circumstance in which you should avoid the no contact rule is if you find yourself in any of the situations I'm about to list off to you. If you live together with your ex, if you work together with your ex, or if you share children together with your ex. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you're using the no contact rule with your ex, but you share children with him or her. What do you do if something dramatic happens with your child and you have to rush that child to the hospital? Wouldn't you need to contact your ex to let them know that? Wouldn't they be willing to have and be receptive of that kind of information? Here's my point. There are certain circumstances or situations you can find yourself in where you really cannot use the no contact rule on your ex. Sometimes if you work together and your work requires you to work together with your ex, it's kind of important for you to be able to communicate between each other. And what if you live together? I mean, you can ignore someone for only so long if you're in the same space together every single day. And let's take this a little bit further. Let's say that you do live with your ex and you do use the no contact rule on them. And it looks like you're angry at them all the time. Look, sometimes appearing angry can work, but in the long run, it doesn't. The job here is to get your ex back, not make your ex angry. So what are you supposed to do? Are you even supposed to use any form of no contact? Well, yes, you use what I like to call the limited no contact rule. This is essentially the same thing as the no contact rule, except you are allowed to respond to your ex if they're the ones who contact you first. So basically, let's say you're going to use the limited no contact rule for 30 days. That means for 30 days, you're not allowed to reach out to your ex first. But if they reach out to you first, and it's something really important that you absolutely need to respond to, well, you can respond to it. Now we're going to talk about the thing you're probably dying to hear about, and that's the certain text messages you can receive that will allow you to break the no contact rule. When you go through a breakup and you're using the no contact rule on your ex, sometimes it can work really, really well. You can receive messages like this. Are you okay? I miss you. I think about you all the time. I can't get you out of my mind. I will never find anyone like you. Now, here's an interesting question. Can you break the no contact rule if you receive multiple versions of this text message? Believe it or not, no. The goal here is to receive even more specific text messages to your situation than this. Here, I'll give you a few examples. Now, let's say your ex says something interesting like, I want to get back together. We shouldn't have broken up. It was a mistake for me to leave you. Being friends is BS. I need you as my girlfriend, fiance, wife, boyfriend, husband again. That's when you respond and break the no contact rule.